Right then, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're out fishing again. Is that Jimmy? No, that's Kurt. How's he doing? Yeah, Easington. I'm not going to lie, I did want to go back to Mablethorpe. It's a bit of a grudge match this weekend, but I've come down to Easington. Now, there's a bit of an army here with us today, and I think there's still more to come. And I know I'm going to get names wrong, and I apologise. And he didn't give me his name, so, but he does know me, the fella to the side of me. So let me just do a bit of a roll call here. We've got Alf down on the end. We've got Keith next to me. We've got AD Young there. We've got the fella next to me. I apologise, I didn't catch your name. And then down on the end, we've got Levo. We've got Jimmy still to come, and maybe a few others. But there's plenty of time. So here we are, Easington. Although regular subscribers, if you're not subscribed, press that subscribe button, will know where I am because I put a short out showing the state of the sea. And as you can see, I do enjoy bringing people with me, although everybody's met their own way, but we've all met here. Annoyingly, 1, 2, 3 out of the, well, half, 3 of the 6 that are already here, we've actually come from my locality, from the Scunthorpe area. So we need to find somewhere more local to meet up, lads, rather than driving 2 hours out of his way. Anyway, I'll roll the credits. You've got a nice, real long time lapse straight after the credits. So grab yourself a brew, or a beer, or a drink of any kind. There's no judgment here. It's 11 o'clock somewhere. And enjoy the time lapse. I'll do the chill out music again. That was really well received. And then I'll see you after that. Okay, so wasn't that lovely? You'll have seen in the time lapse just how far down the beach we actually are. And to give you some sort of perspective, that walk that you saw me doing in the video, in the time lapse, we actually expect to get pushed right back beyond that and up onto the cliff. It's quite a big tide for Easington, to be fair. It's about 7.1, 7.2. So it's a very big tide for Easington. But it's a nice, easy beach that's very accessible. I suppose that's probably why the whole SAC hold a lot of matches here, really, is because just how accessible this beach is. It's easy to get onto, it's easy to get off of, it's easy to park at, and generally speaking, when it fishes extremely well. You stand a chance of bass, cod, flads, flounder, dabs, the odd ray, smooth hounds. I believe also even tope if you can get out to them. We don't stand a chance of getting that far out today. The wind's blowing straight at us, which should make it good conditions for bass today. So fingers crossed, that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. The 6s are on the beach, so that's 12 bass that we can take if, you know, we feel so inclined. I've not seen anybody land anything yet. I have had baits stripped, or not stripped, but baits taken, and I think I have lost one, or I've missed one. As per usual, the Scunthorpe boys, there's a lovely clean beach out there. There's nothing but sand and, you know, niceness. But as per usual, all the Scunthorpe lads have managed to find a snag so far. I think Aid's into one now, either that or he's pulling in a whale. I were into one, but I managed to get it out. And then as the tide pushes us further back, I will set up my second rod. I will be fishing 2 rods, but with the walk and everything at the moment, and until the wind dies off a little bit, it is forecast to die off just a smidge. Once the wind dies off a little bit, I will have 2 rods out. I am kind of regretting not bringing the Cinetic. I would like to have the 2 tougher tips out there today. I think the Achios is just going to be too bouncy, too soft, but we'll try it regardless. We will try it regardless. We'll probably put a flapper rig on there in the hope of making sure that I have something to show for today's video. But this very much is one of those marks where it'll either fish its tits off or it'll just be stone dead. Which seems to be the story of most of the marks I fish, actually, so, you know, take that as you will. Lovely drive out here today. I know Jimmy's having a nightmare. I've just messaged Jimmy. He was actually supposed to be one of the first ones here, said he was going to be here for around 12. It's now 1:20 and he's still not here, so I hope he's okay. That's Cod Bites. So you've got 3 YouTubers down here today. You've got Levo, you've got Jimmy Cod Bites, you've got myself. I don't know if UKC Fishing with Big Dan, I don't know if he's going to make his way up here. He said he was going to look at it, but I don't know. But yeah, you'll see, there'll probably be a fair few time lapses because we're going to get pushed back and back and back. This beach has changed a hell of a lot since I last fished it. I was talking to the gent next to me, and he remembers the same as I do. There was a massive gully. I remember first time Alf and I ever fished it, and we were conscious because we were sat just in front of the gully between the sort of the cliffs, the gully, then not a sandbank, but the beach, and then the sea. And we were conscious that this gully was going to fill up behind us, and it did. That gully has gone. The other major change I'm seeing is the beach is a lot shallower. It's not as steep as it was. But looking back up the beach, hopefully within probably about an hour and a half, it will hit the remaining steep bit of the beach, and the tide will slow down just a little bit. But I'm hoping for a bass. the conditions are right. There's plenty of colour in the water, there's plenty of movement in the water. Keith says he's gold. Oh no, he said retreating, sorry, not freezing. We do expect to get pushed back a lot. To which I'm going to have to move you, because I've got the camera bag, my bait and the tripod to move. So I'll pop you back on time lapse. Thank you to everybody who heeded my request to like, share and subscribe in the last video. It means a lot to me and it really does help me out. So I appreciate it immensely. What's going on with Alf? Dragging his stuff all the way back up the beach. What's happened? Right, but I must get you guys moved and my stuff moved. I'll talk to you in a bit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know I didn't show it on camera, but we've just seen his first fish of the day. Wasn't mine. Big aid, first codling, lovely fish, lovely healthy fish, went back, swam off, happy days. So that is just, where are we now? We're 10 past 2, so 2 hours first fish. By that maths, it doesn't look good, does it? But he was just on straight rag on a 2-up clip down. So I've just changed over. I'm chasing something a bit bigger. You know, we've had a bit of flatty bashing. Let's risk it for a biscuit. Let's target something a bit bigger. I've just changed over from the Wessex over to a pulley pennel. The Wessex isn't getting retired, it's going back out when I get the other rod out, because I will be fishing 2 rods in the not too distant future. But out of all the fishermen that are down here today, I believe that Mr. Young there has had the first fish of the day. And I think, can't tell who it is that's outside. I can't tell if it's Matty, I can't tell if it's Jimmy, I can't tell if it's Big Dan. Whoever it is doesn't seem to be recording, so I don't know what it is. So I might have to have a walk down and see who that is in a bit. If I don't get a chance to come and see you, I've waved at you, but if I don't get a chance to come and see you and you're watching the video, make yourself known in the comments. Just clean that off there. No. Okay, it's on there. All my fishing gear, my camera gear, everything needs a good wash. So I just changed over to a pulley pennel. I fished in the tide. I fished in the waves for the first couple of hours, and it's produced nothing. So I've switched over to lugworm and a pulley pennel. Slightly bigger hooks on the pulley pennel, so I am narrowing the field. But then if there's cod and bass out there, little fish could, they've got a big gob. So I'm not overly worried about narrowing the field too much. The wind is starting to calm down. Hopefully that will remain to be true, because I think we've got another 10-20 yards and then I'll be getting the other rod out as well. I'm resending, like I said, resending the Wessex rig. I'm going back into fishing in the tide. Although I have got a 3-up flapper, I'm very tempted to use the 3-up flapper. Doesn't have big hooks on it, but I'm very tempted, and we'll see actually if we get washed off the beach. I'm probably not going to fish from the cliffs. I'll probably pack down, but I have brought some rig tying gear. So if we end up washed up onto the cliffs for an hour or so over high tide, I may change the game up completely, because I've got some rig tying bits in the car. So we shall have to wait and see. But yeah, now I'm not in the surf on the pulley pennel, I seem to be holding bottom a lot better. Same lead, everything. Like I say, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I've no particular rants. I've had a lovely drive up here. Nothing new to say really. Yeah, it's just lovely to be out, and it's lovely to be out with a good group of fellas. So there's a few of us out, a few of us down here. It's a nice beach. It's turning into a lovely day now that wind's dying down just a smidge. Didn't need to die down much, just a little. It's turning into an absolutely stunning day. So happy days. The sea is getting more and more. I mean, if you were to look at that, I'm sure the experienced anglers amongst you, if you were to look at the sea and go, that is very, very, very bassy, as the saying goes. I'm very, very surprised one hasn't come out yet. Very surprised. But there is plenty of time. We're still 4 hours away from high tide. Wait, that was a bite. We're still 4 hours away from high tide. That was a definite bite. Leave it just a little bit longer. Still shaking. Let's have a look at that. That was a definite bite, that was. Lead's bedded. There we go. Oh, she's heavy. I can't feel any movement though, but she's heavy. Very heavy. Oh, dear me. Getting me hopes up here, this is. I can't feel any movement, guys, so I'm not getting too excited, but it's very heavy. I'm coming in very slowly, but I can't feel any shaking. I can't feel the head shaking or anything like that. I'm going to walk out to it a little bit I think we've got something. It's probably a big ball of weed. That's exactly what it is. A big ball of weed. Whew. God damn it. Got all excited there. Got me all excited. Got my juices flowing and everything. Just for a big ass ball of weed. Although looking at the bait, looking at the hook, I would say that there definitely was a bite on that. Looking at the hook. Right, before I recast, in fact I'm going to have to rebait. Before I recast, I'm going to have to move back again. We're getting close to the point where the tide will slow down again. Well, not slow down, but the bit it's coming over at the moment is very flat. So we're getting closer and closer to the steeper part of the beach, where we should get a bit more time fishing rather than moving gear about. Yeah, I would say I missed that. Whatever that was, I missed it. So, find myself another decent luggy. Oh, there's some monsters in here. Oh, and what I'll do is I'll leave the old bait on. Just because it's not really been washed. I say it's not really been washed out. I definitely missed something there, guys. This worm has been drained. My watch has been going mental. I think it's having a fit, saying, bloody hell, Russ, you don't normally do this much exercise. See if we can get another good one. I think I just saw a porpoise out there. Not as good as the last, but it'll do. I don't think I've held. I thought there's a lot more slack than I thought there was. What's going on there? It's like there's no weight on line. I think it's just tumbling in the waves. We'll leave it out there a little bit. The line's tight-ish. No, there's something not right there. I don't think the lead's set properly. Just getting washed straight in. I'll resend that. Yeah, that just got washed straight in, that did. Only problem with these Gemini leads, the little channels fill up with sand. Alright, let's have a look at this bait because it looks a little bit... Oh yeah, it's destroyed. I think I got the bait mate down here. I think what we're going to have to do is make a bit of a luggy kebab and put a few on. Put 3 on. See if it holds up a bit better. I should probably back it with a bit of squid really, but so until I move up the back there, I ain't got half my gear. Oh, that's juicy. That's some juices coming out of that bugger. That wind's calming down. That tide's getting rougher and rougher. There, that one's set. That's better. It was the sea saying I didn't have enough bait on it, that's what it was. How are we doing for time? Right, we're all right for a little bit longer. So yeah, this is, as you're currently seeing, raw, unabated fishing. There's no chopping, no changing, no. This isn't a catch report channel. You don't see just fish after fish after fish. God, opportunity would be nice. No, it's not what I'm about. This is a fishing vlog. This is not a how to fish channel. This is not a, I mean, I do a bit of sort of how I do things, but it's not by no means a guide, so to speak. It's just one way of doing things. It's just my adventures in sea fishing, really. It's raw, it's unabated. I don't take much footage out that's of any interest. So yeah, you know, if you've liked the content so far, or if you're still here, please do press that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. It helps me out, it helps the community out, it helps the channel out. Do go down into the video description, please. There is, down in there is Jimmy Cod Bites' channel, there is John Levo's channel. There is a couple of other channels that I really do strongly suggest you check out, all of which use different styles. John, if you want a how to fish as well as extra just fishing videos, do go check out John Levo. He is an extremely knowledgeable fisherman. But yeah, welcome to all the new subscribers. Now I am back, and YouTube acknowledges that I'm back and in existence. My channel has started to grow again, which is nice. So welcome to all the new subscribers. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be able to entertain you with my vlogs, with my forays into not catching any fish. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. You can't always have blinding sessions, can you? It's called fishing, not catching. At least that's what us crap fishermen tell ourselves. It's what we tell ourselves when we're crying ourselves to sleep on a night. Right, I'm going to move you back a bit further. I'll pop you back on time lapse. I'm going to move you back a bit further. So hopefully we're almost at the point where I can set up back at base camp and actually have a cup of tea and some lunch, because I'm fucking starving. I've had my sandwich, but I am starving. I ended up fasting yesterday because I had an IBS attack. And the only way to ensure I was able to get out today was to fast yesterday. So today I am starving. So there may be a brief interlude in the fishing. Although, to be fair, in my defence, what are we on? We've been fishing nearly 3 hours. You know, that's a fair good half a session so far. It'd just be nice to see some fish, wouldn't it? Right, anyway guys, I'm going to move you back. I'm going to end up with wet feet, so I'm going to move you back. I'll pop you on time lapse. I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, right, I'm just going to get myself a brew. Oh God, right, and I'm going to have a look at these lines. I wasn't going to, I was hoping to have a sit down for 5 minutes and have a chat, but as I've just walked over here, because I've been having a chat with fellas, I've just said to them, I better come and talk to you guys, because I've neglected you all day. You've been set on time lapse, haven't you? Although, to be fair, from what I understand, the time lapse is actually quite popular. You guys quite like it. So, you know, right. Am I? Yes, I need to go back over this way. Yeah, the tow has become pretty damn severe. Struggling to hold bottom, although I can go up a couple of lead sizes. I'm still only fishing with 4 or 5 ounce leads. I'm not sure which. The biggest issue we've got at the moment is just weed. We're just getting absolutely inundated with weed. In fact, here we go again. Big ball of weed. Big weed octopus. So we'll bring that one in. And we'll bring the other one in as well. We'll clear them down. What you will have seen in the time lapse is I set the other rod up. This one's just got a 3-up flapper on it. I'm not using it, I wasn't intended on using it as a scratching rig. I'm letting it bounce about, but the sea's rough enough to where it is bouncing about quite a lot, to the point where I'm actually in the next door guy's swim. So it's coming in anyway. But the biggest problem is, the reason it's getting washed across is just because it's such a big sea, and then once your line's covered in weed, it just acts like a sail, doesn't it? So this is equally as heavy, although this is actually shooting about a bit. I wonder, have I got lucky? I'm not that lucky, am I really? Let's head down to the water. Nah, it's just gone light anyway. Yeah, it's just another big ball of weed. Oh, but that's the biggest problem we've got at the moment, is the lines are just covering with weed. Lines are just getting absolutely covered with weed, and then the weed is just acting like a sail in the water, and is just pulling the rigs across. It is a problem at this beach. It is just the way this beach is. I'm going to move right back to the rock face. Whilst I've got these rods in, I'm going to move right back to the rock face, in the hope that I can just have 5 minutes and have a brew. Let's get these baited and resent. Well, we'll get everything moved first. We'll get everything shifted first. But we'll make a decision in sort of the next half an hour as to whether we're going to go up top or whether we're going to stay down here. I think we're going to end up top. Looking behind where I've just put you guys, the rock face is actually wet from last night. It's actually wet quite high up. I think I'm going to make the decision actually now. I might move up to the top. I don't know, guys. I'm going to have a think about it and come back to you. I'm going to have a think about it and come back to you. So I'm going to turn camera off and I'll have a think about it and come back to you. Well, we're up on top and we're all taking a bit a wee constitutional, wee break. Yeah, we'll probably fish it from the top here if this wind dies down. We're about an hour away from high tide and there's about 10 foot of beach left. Although where we were is completely gone. Now, a lot of the more experienced gentlemen than me are probably going to be saying, Russ, why did you come to Easington on such a big tide? Well, for the most part, weather-wise, based on the forecast when I was planning the trip, this was really the only feasible location to come fishing. Or, no, not the only feasible location. The most feasible location to come fishing. Just based on weather, really, and my limited knowledge. I mean, I'm not privy to the private WhatsApp groups where they share all the secret marks and they, you know, the secret catch reports and things like that. Well, all I can do is go off my minutia of knowledge and talk to some other people that are willing to give information. And the plan was really to meet up with a lot of fellas, like I say, knowingly we've all come from the South Bank, to meet up with Jimmy. But Jimmy got waylaid by nearly 2 hours. I also wanted to fish with Levo, but there was that many of us here. We've ended up that far spread apart that we just can't. What I might do on the ebb, if he stays, if John stays, when we go back down, I might sneak up to him and say, do you mind if I come set up with you? Just to pick his brains, really. And gain from his vast amount of knowledge. He is a knowledgeable man. I've got to be honest, even though it is a little bit nippy, it's still lovely out here. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to keep talking and I'll put you on the sea. I'm not going to time lapse it. I may time lapse it in the edit, but right now I'm not going to time lapse it. And let's me and you just sit and take this in for a little bit. Like I say, I don't know how much of the wind and things you're actually able to hear, but it is pretty rowdy. Up here anyway. Down on the beach it's not too bad. It's also got to be said, if I was better equipped, I'd be tempted to stay all night. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but see if we can see John down there. He's reeling in, and he's reeling in at a fair rate of knots. I'm wondering if he's got something on there. Still reeling. Still reeling. Looks to me like he might be into a ball of weed. Or he's been washed into rocks. Where John's fishing just there, literally right at the side of him, probably 10 feet to his right, is a lot of rocks, big rocks. If he gets washed into them with these waves, he ain't getting out of it. No. Don't know what he's doing. Didn't look like he cracked off or snapped off. Maybe he did. Or maybe he's just got some weed in his top eye. Oh, there we go. Back to reeling. So he must have just had some weed in eyes. Not seeing his lead come in yet. The other problem is, of course, if I would imagine fishing down in those rocks, if you do hit into a decent fish, I would have thought the fish would take the opportunity to dart into the rocks. No, maybe he did. Maybe he did snag off. Maybe he did. Maybe it's. I never saw. I didn't see his lead come in. Didn't see him try and catch his lead. So I don't know. Let's spin you back round. No, you don't want to look at my ugly mush. Oh, let's enjoy the scenery. Oh, Alf's fishing. Well done, that man. Well done, that man. I'd struggle to get a lead out. So I'm going to give it so this tide's just a little bit further in, because at the moment I don't think I'd be able to get over them breakers. It's a shame, because it's actually probably really good. The sea's probably full of fish now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bait up in a minute. I'm going to get a load of lugs and cut a squid in half, and I'm going to seat them nicely inside that piece of squid and whip them up with a bit of bait elastic in a bait mate. And I'm going to go for a big bait that can soak for a little bit. And hopefully this wind will be nice to me, and it'll abate long enough for me to be able to get a lead out in the water. What I could do actually is I could walk it round to the slipway, cast it out down there where it's sheltered a little bit, I can't do it any longer, guys. I'm going to have to get a bait in the water. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a bait in water. I can't sit here any longer. I'm getting itchy feet. Or itchy finger, I don't know what you call it. But I'm going to flick you guys back onto time lapse. I'm going to have to leave the camera drop down just a little bit because it's a bit, like I said, a bit windy up here. I already broke a tripod. I've already broken a connector, and I've already broken one GoPro and one microphone set. So I would really like that to not happen anymore. So I shall I've forgotten what I said I was going to do. So yeah, I shall leave you down at this lower point of view. Unfortunately, that does put you at crotch height, so I apologise. But I'm going to get a bait ready. I'm going to move the camera back and put it behind me so you can see what's happening. I'll put some nice chill out music on again, and I'll probably run another long time lapse. I know this has generally been a day of long time lapses, but I also know that you guys actually quite like them, especially with the correct music. So I would love actually to, I don't know whether to be cheeky and say I'd be tempted to start a GoFundMe for a second GoPro, but I would love to have a second GoPro that I could just put to one side and just time lapse the entire session. I really would love to be able to do that. Perhaps set up an entirely separate channel where you just have, I just have the entire session's time lapse, just with some music on. I would appreciate it actually, guys, if you discuss that down in the comments with me. If there's enough people who say, yeah, I'd throw a fiver in. It'd take a lot of fivers, but if there's enough people that would say, yeah, I'd throw a fiver into a GoFundMe, because I can't afford another camera off my own back. I'm a family man, working family man. But yeah, just a second camera where I just time-lapsed the entire session. I think that would be pretty cool. No talking, no me, no worries about whether it's fishing well, no talking about bait or rigs or tackle. Literally just a time lapse of every entire session. I think that would be very cool. And it'd take 100 people to say yes, I'd put a fiver in. But if 100 people did say it, I'll put a fiver in, I'd do it. I genuinely would do it. Right, enough talking. Oh, let me look you in the eyes a minute. Enough talking. I'm going to make up a bait. I'm literally going to fish on the one rod, the pen with the power tip. Up here, the Achios Fury is just far too soft. I'm not going to be able to cast it far enough to be past the wave noise. It's just going to get absolutely destroyed. I'm not going to be able to see any bites on it or anything. So I'm going to get some squid, lop it in half, I'm going to stuff it full of lug, and I'm going to whip it on. So I'll time lapse you and I'll see you in a bit. Or I'll talk to you in a bit. Oh, it's nippy up here. I might have to go get my gloves out at car as well. Oh. Now then guys, I've just been down to see John. As I've said many times in the past, and I'm saying again now, if you want to know how to fish on the East Coast, go check out John Levo's Fishing Adventures, or Levo's Fishing Adventures. His link to his channel is down in my description. I went down to go see him, he just hit into a lovely bass. And then just as I was coming up to tell the rest of the lads the bass are in, because I mean the bass should have been here all the way through, the sea is spot on for bass. I get to Jimmy, and he's just reeling in a massive, must have been 2-3 pound easy. But this is apparently when this mark, I mean I've been told this mark fish is better on the flood, but for the today at least, it looks to be fishing better on the ebb or on the at high water. Now all the apps were saying that high water was any time now really, any time in the last 45 minutes. But that sea is definitely still coming in, without a doubt it is still coming in. Oh yeah, without a doubt that's still coming in. But the wind is just savage. The wind is savage. We've all dropped down to one rod. My phone has not stopped all evening and it's doing me boxing, I've got to be honest. I'm going to take down the Achios. This wind isn't going anywhere and it's far too strong for the Achios. So I'm going to pack that back down. I'm going to stay fishing with a pen. And fingers crossed, I can hit into a fish. They just seem to, story of my life, they seem to be coming out either side of me. So, I don't know, it seems to be my curse. But now is the time to be watching your rods. Now is the time to be watching your rods. So, I am going to pack down the Achios. I'm not going to do it right now, because trying to pack down in this wind is mental, isn't it, AD? You'll see this in the video. It's crazy. The wind is just, and the wind is holding the tide as well, which is good for us fishermen. But it's yeah. I know I've had you on time lapse, but for the last hour it's just been all go. I've been up and down this bank. I've been going talking to people. It's been lovely. I'm well chuffed for Jimmy for his first Bassett season. I'm well chuffed for John. He, like by his own admission, he often ends up hitting over them because he's a good caster, because he goes past them, he's shooting over them. So I'm well chuffed. He's just had a corker. He must have been coming up to 2 pound. That went back. Jimmy, fair play to the fella. If I'd have been in his shoes, he kept his. I would have done the same. It was an absolute cracking bass. Right, guys, I'm sorry to do this to you again, but I'm going to have to put you back on time lapse, so I'm going to have to shut my microphones off. We've got maybe another couple of hours. I don't plan on going anywhere just yet. Yeah, we've got maybe another couple of hours. Well, we could have another 4 or 5 hours if we really wanted to. But for now, my back's giving me some jip. I dread to think, I think Alf will probably be in bits by the time I get him home tonight. Whoa! Oh, is it weed again? You might get me there. Naught can be done about it. I think now John's had his bass, I think he's calling it a night. Oh, he's losing his shelter. Is John calling it a night as well?
I think I'm going to.
Are you calling it a night?
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, the sea's warm and the fucking
Anyway guys, I'm going to have to put you back on time lapse. I need to turn my microphones off. They are going to run out of charge. If we fish for much longer, I will have to put you back on. I'll have to put you on an ambient mic. That's going to be horrible because the wind is so high. Do check out Jimmy. If I forget, do check out Jimmy. Show him some love. He's just invested in a new camera. Has he managed to copy shelter? He has. Do check out John Levo. Do press subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'm all amped up now because there's been a couple of big fish come out. I'm going to pack down some of my gear, just throw it in the car so it's out of the way. But I'm not doing that right now. Like, share, subscribe. Go check out Jimmy. Go check out Cod Bites. Go check out Levo's Fishing Adventures. I'll see you in a bit. Oh, right guys, I'm just gonna say to you now, I'm not too sure. Oh God, which screen is it that's blurred? Hang on, there we go. Right, I'm gonna say to you now, I'm not too sure how much longer I can keep this up for, so I'm gonna film my outro now. I know you guys can't see the sea, but we must be hitting 5 or 6 foot swells. The wind must be hitting 30-40 miles an hour, or at least 20-30 miles an hour. I really don't think this is going to be fishable for much longer. I really don't. Unless something changes in the next 20-30 minutes, I am going to call it a night, which is a shame. It really is a shame. There is clearly some big fish out there tonight. I've seen them. Unfortunately, other people have caught them, but we've seen them. They are out there, but I can't cast past these breakers. The breakers, they must be only 30, 40, maybe 50 yards out. but the wind up while we're up on the top here is that strong. I can't get past them. I am still sending baits, but my rigs are coming back that wrapped up that they couldn't have hooked anything. You know, even if there was a fish interested, they couldn't have hooked anything. They're that tangled up. It's proving pretty damn tough now this evening. I think Alf might be coming over now to suggest we perhaps call it a night. I know he's just brought in. It's that windy that even baiting up is very, very difficult. So it's been a hard fought session today, guys. I am calling it a night officially on the outro now. Because yeah, it's wild. It is wild out there, to the point where I don't think it's fishable. We were gonna try and hope and wait for the tide to be going back out, but the wind is holding it in. It's blowing that strong. So yeah, Alf is on his way over now. I don't know what he's going to say. I think he's probably going to be in agreement with me. I think it's getting to the point where this is unfishable. I really do. Well, you know, I know Jimmy had probably fished through it, but yeah, I don't think, you know, you could send out a 15-ounce lead and I don't think you'd all bottom in this swell. I think it's getting a bit too wild, don't you? I really don't want to go, but I think it's getting too wild.
It's getting worse. They're getting worse.
I think it might be time to pack up before it's too difficult to even bloody pack up.
Yeah.
I think it might be time to go eat some Chinese food in the car.
Oh, hey, bless you.
Well, you're paying. Right, guys, yeah, I'm going to call that a night here for the video and for the fishing. I'm just going to have to pack down in stages because it's just that wild out here. Hopefully I'll see you again Monday. Well, it'll be Monday evening for me, but you won't see the video Monday evening. We're going to continue the bass hunt down on Cleethorpes Front. Hopefully I'll get through to pick Alf up. Well, that just depends on time.
Well, if it's Cleethorpes Front, I'll be able to get up once.
Are you going to come? Are you going to be able to make your own way? Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, excellent. Well, yeah, it'll be Cleethorpes Front. I'll be aiming to get there about 6 o'clock Monday evening.
Yeah.
Once parking's calmed down a bit. I'll confirm closer to time whether it's going to be a big wheel or bike pier. But we'll be meeting Big Matty Smith and Mike and his lads down there. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to call that a night. I'm going to stop gassing. I'm going to call that a night. I'm going to get packed down. Guys, tight lines, stay safe. I'll see you later. Oh, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And check out Jimmy and John.